And even keep him on the inside. Southpaws. Or if you fight in the southpaw, or you fight in the southpaw stand, I always want to keep him on the inside.
Man, for the mega fight with you and Crawford for 150.
If we can make it at that weight division, I mean, whatever weight division I'm at, if wherever we still boxing at the same time, let's do it. I'm down to fight any one of these motherfuckers. I ain't here for the money. I'm here to win. You know what I'm saying? Straight up, the money already here, and I got it already, and it's gonna come. Mo gonna come, but why would I get in the ring over, an injury? You know what I'm saying?
Stay away from it. And by the way, there's this brother coming up, Molly. His name is Boots Ennis. This brother's special. You don't want to go in the ring against after that beating. Molly, it was so bad. I swear to y'all, I am not exaggerating. Yeah. You know how I got called.
Boxing fans, the wait is over. After months of silence, endless rumors, and heated debates online, Terence "Bud" Crawford has finally announced his next move for 2026. And the twist? It's not what everyone expected. This fight could either lock in his spot as the greatest of all time or signal the beginning of the end. So who's on deck? Will Crawford stick at super middleweight to meet Hamza Shiraz? Will he chase another undisputed run at middleweight? Or is this a setup for mega showdowns with David Benavidez or even Jaron "Boots" Ennis? Let's break it down, because what Crawford just revealed for 2026 changes everything. To set the stage, remember what happened in September 2025. Crawford shocked the world when he dominated Canelo Alvarez at 168 pounds. He didn't just beat him, he dismantled him. That win made Crawford the undisputed super middleweight champ, the third division where he claimed all the belts. Nobody else has ever done that. Now at 42-0, three-time undisputed, and holding 18 world titles, he's undefeated and sitting on history. At 38 years old, you'd think he has nothing left to prove. But does he?
It's been a journey, It's been a journey. I remember, like it was yesterday, I went to quit boxing. It was getting to the point where I didn't enjoy it no more. I didn't love it no more. And Bomac, he always, hey, don't worry about it, man. Just keep going. It's going to all pay off one day. And I'm like, man, boxing. But them having the faith in me and keeping me on the narrow arrow, is what y'all see today. Because without them, I wouldn't be up here right now.
That's the question haunting the sport since he humbled Canelo. Does Crawford ride into retirement untouchable, or take one more risk? His longtime trainer, Brian "Bomac" McIntyre, gave fans the first clue after the victory parade in Omaha. Bomac kept it simple: give him 2 or 3 more fights before he's done.
As his trainer, do you feel like he should just sell off into the sunset after this monumental
Well,
win?
you know what? He made it look so easy. You know what I'm saying? Got 2-3 more in him. You know what I'm saying? Training camp will try harder. You know what I'm saying?
Do you think a move to 160 would make sense?
I mean, if you want to do it, it'd be a challenge. If you want to challenge yourself, yeah, I don't mind.
In other words, Bud's not finished yet. But Bomac admitted something important. If Crawford drops to 160, it won't be easy. Not because the middleweight champs are more skilled, but because cutting weight at nearly 39 years old is rough. That shows this decision isn't just about chasing belts, it's about what his body can handle.
Bomac, you've been training Crawford for years. Is he retired or is he going to keep fighting?
He just got to take a break.
Is Terence Crawford retired or is he going to keep fighting?
Oh, he's going to keep fighting.
He's going to keep fighting?
Yeah.
You're the man. Be man. Hey, congratulations. Enjoy the win.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The middleweight scene is split right now. Janabek Elimkhanieli holds the WBO and IBF straps, Arislandi Lara has the WBA, and Carlos Adams is rocking the WBC. For Crawford to go undisputed in a 4th division, he'd need to beat all 3 or wait until they unify. That's a long path, and at 38, time isn't on his side.
Should Bud go to 160? I think Bud should do what he want to do.
Are you going to the Crawford parade on Saturday? I believe I am going. Yes, I believe that I am going. I have to look at my schedule and stuff.
But think about the legacy. If Crawford retires as a 4-division undisputed champion, that would put him not just on boxing's Mount Rushmore, it would make him the whole mountain. Then there's Hamza Shiraz, the undefeated British contender ranked number 1 by the WBC at 168. Many thought Canelo would have faced him if Bud hadn't stepped in.
I beat this guy. It's an excuse. I beat this guy. You know, he's too young or whatever. So I'm never really going to give my full respect until afterwards. Yes, you know, it's a lot of people that's changing their narrative. Like, man, y'all watching something great right now, and we not appreciating it. And it's sad to say that we waking up at the tail end of his career. You know, we really didn't realize it until now, when he's like doing extraordinary stuff, like going up 2 weight classes to fight the best fighter in that division, the number 1 guy that's the face of boxing, you know. And the way that I handled that, people like, oh man, something had to be wrong. Canelo had to be washed, or Canelo just wasn't in it. I see people saying, oh, Turkey paid for Canelo to lose, you know. So I just think, you know, when you that much better than the competition, you know, people not going to give you credit until they sit down and look at it and just be like, man, that dude was good.
After Crawford's win, Shiraz basically said, if Bud stays at 168, I should be next. He wasn't disrespectful either. He admitted beating Crawford would take a miracle night. What really shocked him was Bud's strength at super middleweight, especially how he pushed Canelo around in the clinch.
2 guys are Canelo Alvarez and Bud Crawford.
Yep.
What do you think from what you've seen so far?
From what I've seen so far, I still stick to what I've said from when the fight was announced. I've got Canelo Alvarez to win via late stoppage. And right. I feel like, I'll tell you why.
Start this.
I'll tell you why, because I feel like his physicality, I feel like Crawford's ego towards the latter of the fight is going to kick in. He's not someone who, when the fight gets hard, is going to get on his bike. He's someone who's going to stand there and think, yo, let's go. And I feel like that could get him in danger. I could be wrong.
That's the clue. Shiraz thinks Crawford feels at home at 168. If he's right, don't be surprised when Crawford versus Shiraz headlines in 2026.
Look good at the weight. I reckon he'll stay at it, and I could potentially even fight him.
Yeah, so was there discussion with His Excellency straight after about you and Crawford or not?
No, there wasn't, but I'm just saying, I'm assuming, because he looked good at it, didn't he?
Yeah,
he looked good at it. Yeah, man, we'll see what happens.
And here's where things get interesting. While Shiraz praises Bud, fans and analysts are buzzing with an even bigger claim.
Terence Crawford v Hamza Shiraz next year.
Yeah, I saw that. I mean, look, good luck to them, man. I mean, no, man. No, but Terence Crawford, that is the best fighter in the world. I think Crawford will win, but if Hamza can make a good account of himself, then yeah, go for the fight, man. Why not?
Terence Crawford isn't just pound for pound number 1 anymore. Many believe he's the greatest ever.
How are you feeling to be Chris Eubank's trainer, first of all?
It feels good, man. You know what I'm saying? I've been this trainer before, so.
Yeah, it's good.
It's a no-brainer.
Of course. Congratulations on the win. What's your first reactions to Crawford's victory? One of the greats of this era, right?
Oh, definitely. You know that.
What do you want to see him do now?
What I want to do now?
What do you want to see Crawford do next?
Do what he at this point now in his career where he could do whatever he wanted to do.
Who would you like to see him fight? Any names? Is there any names in particular you'd like to see?
It doesn't matter.
What about Canelo? Would you like to see him retire?
I don't. Canelo's not my responsibility.
Okay.
Yes, some are putting him above Floyd Mayweather. The reason? Floyd was often accused of picking opponents at the perfect time. Crawford, on the other hand, has taken on every challenge, kept moving up in weight, and made legends look ordinary.
Saw you before the fight, the Crawford-Canelo fight, and you had a Cavs hat on. This time you've got a GOAT hat on. Is that how you're feeling? I know it says Muhammad Ali, but is that how you're feeling about Bud's performance, about his whole career?
Yeah, I'm definitely feeling that way, man. Go. Greatest of all time, man. You gotta give it to him. You gotta give it to him. You gotta give it to his coaches. Not just me, Saul Red, Bernie, Chet, nutritionists. You know, everybody played a part.
Canelo said he's way better than Mayweather. What do you think to that?
Who, Terence?
Yeah.
Oh, of course. Of course. Of course he is.
He didn't wait for Canelo to fade. He didn't duck Errol Spence. He fought both, and dominated both. At 42-0, undisputed in 3 divisions, and fresh off dismantling the supposed face of boxing in his own weight class, Bud has built a legacy that's unmatched.
Who do you think's better out of those two? Crawford or Mayweather?
I think Crawford is better, bigger. He's actually he moved in weight class, and I would say Crawford is a better fight all around fighter. Mayweather's really good too, though. You can't knock him as well. He's very talented. It would have been a tough fight, but I think Crawford would have the edge over Mayweather because of the long arms and because it's bigger. You know what I'm saying? And he would have kept him at bay. It would have been hard for Mayweather to counter, maybe. But Mayweather's definitely a technician. I mean, like Crawford said, Mayweather has his era, and Crawford, this is his era.
It's wild, because, if you look at Floyd's resume, it's much deeper than Crawford's. And Floyd was faster, and he had a better defense and all that stuff. But Floyd picked and chose when he fought guys, especially once he left lightweight. He wiped out the junior lights, bring him. Lightweight, he jumps up to Jose Luis Castillo first thing. A lot of people think he lost the first fight, I didn't, but then he won the rematch. But once he left lightweight, he was careful about when he fought guys. So even though his resume is deeper with names, people remember, but he didn't want it with certain dudes at certain times. Crawford, we all witnessed, even though the resume is thin in certain ways, he wanted it with everyone the whole time.
Oh, yes.
That makes a difference to people.
So the debate isn't, can Crawford hang with Floyd, anymore? It's, has Crawford already passed him? And after what we just saw, many fans believe the answer is yes.
I thought Terence fought a virtuoso fight. Terence never let Canelo get into a rhythm. Terence never allowed Canelo to get anything going, and I didn't think he could do it for 12 rounds. I thought that the first 3 or 4 rounds were going to be difficult for Canelo for that reason, but Terence was able to do it for 12 rounds, and in the later part of the fight, he kind of pushed the fight more than I think people expected, which is the mark of a superstar, man.
They were saying that if he beats Canelo, it could put him as even the greatest of all time. What does that put him in the all-time list, man?
At least top 10.
At least
top 10.
top 10
or top 15, easily, There's guys that we may not know of or heard of, like Henry Armstrong. Simultaneously, he was 3 divisions carrying all 3 weight divisions at the same time.
Which performance was better? I don't like to compare them, but Crawford or Mayweather's over Canelo. It's just different.
It's just different styles, different looks, But the punching, the output that he was giving Canelo, definitely gave him the win.
If Shiraz is right and Bud stays at 168, then Shiraz could be next. But let's be real, fans also want David Benavidez. He's 30-0, a knockout artist, and was long considered Canelo's real threat before Bud stole the spotlight.
Canelo couldn't really keep up with him. He was too fast. His feet, footwork was too good.
Do you think the scores was right on, or do you think maybe it was a little more towards Bud?
What was the scorecards?
115, 113, 116, 112.
Yeah, that's about right.
Yeah?
I feel like Bud damn near basically won every round, so.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's about right. You can say that.
Now, with this accomplishment, Keyshawn, is he on the Mount Rushmore of
Hell
boxers?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah?
3-time undisputed. He just beat Canelo.
Yeah.
The face of boxing. So now you can say Bud is the face of boxing.
Greatest of all time, or?
Greatest of all time.
Yeah.
I don't feel like it can never be one great, but he definitely one of the greatest of all time for sure.
Crawford's camp has downplayed it for now. Bomac even said, "We're not doing that fight yet." But let's be honest, money talks. Crawford versus Benavidez would be a mega event. If Bud remains at 168, this fight feels inevitable. The only question, does Crawford risk his perfect record against a younger powerhouse like Benavidez? And then there's Boots Ennis, the rising boogeyman at welterweight. At 34-0 with 30 KOs, he's hungry and dangerous. Fans want that clash too. Remember, Boots even warned Bud before the Canelo fight about moving up. But Crawford has made it clear, he's not returning to 147, maybe not even 154. Unless Boots moves up, it's unlikely. Still, fans dream about the master facing the new era.
Hear me out here, Kamaru. Terence Crawford versus the Mexican monster, David Benavidez.
I knew it was coming.
He was the mandatory for Canelo.
Oh my God. Relax.
What's up? The scariest guy in the division.
He's not in the division.
He said he could still make 168 pounds. Dude. The reason why he was up because nobody wants to fight him.
That's a big dude. And to be honest, Terence Crawford's 37 years old.
It's about merit. Could I get to the generational talent, as he said, with Manny Pacquiao? He's an 8-division world champ.
If it ain't no big name, Terence, do what you do, bro.
Here's the challenge. Fans want everything. Shiraz, Benavidez, Boots, middleweight. They want Bud fighting until he's 45. But he's human. At 38, he's already climbed mountains no one thought possible. Family, health, and legacy matter more than endless paydays. That's why the Shiraz fight makes the most sense. He's young, unbeaten, ranked high, and keeps Bud at 168, where he looked dominant against Canelo. People expected him to be undersized, but instead, he bullied Canelo and proved his power carries up.
Man, great. Bud always been like that. Without a question, solid. You know what I'm saying? Solid.
You think there's anything left for him, Coach, or is it time for Bud to move on? Or
I'm trying to figure out who he gonna fight next.
160, you can see him fight 160.
I wouldn't do nothing crazy. He looked at excellent. Hey, he looked at excellent.
Is there anybody most from
No, I'm trying to figure out what their team gonna do next. I want to see what's
He's
next.
talking about 160, Coach. I mean, the only thing down there is maybe like a middleweight tournament, 2 fights undisputed, something like that. But if not that, then what for Bud?
Who?
Well, they were talking about Jaron Ennis going to 160, possibly going. Jaron Ennis going to 160.
If he go to 160, then we got another mega fight.
You think that's a mega fight?
I don't know that yet, but I'm saying, and the boxing fans that know boxing would say that's another mega fight.
What would?
That's a game changer. Now fighters see Crawford not as the smaller man, but as the pound-for-pound king who can rule at their weight too. Shiraz himself admitted Bud's strength shocked him. And that changes how rivals view him. But here's the twist, what if all this speculation ends with Crawford saying, "I'm done"? Bomac said 2 to 3 fights max. That could mean one more in 2026, then a farewell, and he's gone. If so, his opponent choice becomes symbolic. Does he go for a legacy shot at Benavidez or undisputed at middleweight? Or does he cash out with Shiraz in the UK for a massive payday? Some, like promoter Eddie Hearn, even suggest Bud should retire now, saying, what more can he prove?
It was outstanding.
Outstanding.
Yeah.
Outstanding.
I already knew it was going to happen. But I thought he was going to stop him in the 8th or 10th round. Yeah, that's what I was going for.
Once again, man, what is it about the guy? What is it about Terence? Every time somebody thinks that he's reached a plateau, he steps it up higher. As soon as the ante goes up, as soon as the challenge goes up, he goes up.
That training.
But if you know Bud, he doesn't walk away quietly. Every time people doubt him, he makes a statement. That's why his 2026 opponent is so important. It's not only about belts, it's about proving again that he's still the man. So who's it going to be? Sources say Crawford is leaning towards staying at 168 and defending against Hamza Shiraz. It makes sense, the titles are already unified, it's a winnable fight, and it adds another young undefeated name to his record. Plus, it sets up a blockbuster with Benavidez later or even in 2027 if he wants it. Still, the middleweight move isn't off the table. Crawford has admitted chasing undisputed in a 4th division excites him, and Bomac confirmed it's an option. Bottom line, Crawford's likely 2026 opponent is Hamza Shiraz. But the bigger story is whether Bud is closing his career or writing its boldest final chapter. Is it about money, legacy, or one last reminder that he's the king? Whatever happens, one thing's clear, the boxing world is locked in. Because when Terence Crawford announces a fight, it's never just a matchup, it's an event. Drop your predictions in the comments. Shiraz, Benavidez, Boots, or middleweight, who should Bud face in 2026? Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to Fight Field. See you in the next one.
Sorry?
Should Crawford retire?
Do you know what? Someone said the other day, and it's very true, because I actually said it about Usyk. We've got a real tendency, haven't we, to kind of try and retire people off. Do you know what I mean? Like I said with Usyk, I think now he should retire. And everyone's like, why do you want him to retire? It's like, I just think it's a great way to go out. I actually also think that Crawford could move down and win a world title at 160. And that would make him, what, 6 division champ? 5, 35, 40, 47, 54, 6 division champion. But the problem is Terence Crawford now is really only going to want a fight for big money, and there's only certain fights that can generate that kind of money. So Shakur, who's obviously very close to him, seemed to say so maybe that's it.